things that I use within my playing, because at the core of my playing is just very simplistic pentatonic based stuff, and I put a lot of emphasis on finger vibrato and phrasing. But the one thing I do want to talk about a bit more than anything else is slide playing, because Dwayne Allman is a huge hero of mine, always has been, and for years, you know, I like I said, I was a professional musician really young, making a living, and I was terrified of this damn thing, because every time I put it on, I sounded atrocious, you know, which you do when you start, and so right before my group formed, and I was in this club band in Nashville that I've spoken about, and I was doing sessions during the day playing on records, I just decided I was going to once and for all, you know, deal with this and try and get good at it, and which meant that I spent a lot of hours on a bandstand not sounding good, which is a difficult thing. And the point that I want to make to you is this, is that, you know, the way as a musician, and again, for what it's worth, I mean, there's a lot of people in here that are a lot older and a lot more experienced than I, you know, but at least for me, the greatest milestones that have ever happened to me as a musician happened on a bandstand, happened in moments of pressure. You have to play, you know, because no matter how much you practice on your own, nothing replaces being in front of people, and it can just be 3 people, you know, it doesn't have to be that many. But you have to do it thousands and thousands and thousands of times. It's a life work. It's just like being a good carpenter or something. And so the point I'm trying to make with this, talking about slide, is that by the time I was going on stage doing this, I was playing on, you know, I'd played on a record that was a #1 record, and I was in this club band and it had a mortgage and a house and all these grown-up things. And this thing made me sound like I'd been playing guitar 2 hours, you know? But I knew that the only way I was going to get good at it is if I committed to it. And so I just had to kind of suck up my pride and be terrible for a while and know that I could get through it. And you have to kind of have that kind of courage, because, again, getting back to the emotional element of making music, you know, you have to allow yourself to be vulnerable, you know? I mean, I'm sitting here right now in front of all you trying to talk to you. It's a hard thing to do, but it's also a really easy thing to do, because what are you gonna do? You're gonna hurt me? I mean, you may, but, you know, in that case, take me now, Lord. But no, but the essence of what I'm trying to say is that, you know, we all kind of, in the modern world, we're kind of numbed by technology. We're kind of numbed by the existence that we live in. And to me, the greatest art, the great music that I love, is devoid of numbness. It's devoid of you know, kind of puffing yourself up. It's about being vulnerable and letting other people see the things about you that maybe aren't as pretty, maybe that you don't want people to see of you, you know? But that's what makes us human. It's, we all have differences, but we all, I think, want the same thing. We all want to be loved. We all want to be liked. We all want to be safe, you know, all these kind of things. And so with music, you know, so often these things end up becoming somewhat of like a shield of like, don't look at me, just look at this, you know? And when this is, I think, at its best, is when it's not this, but it's here, and you are allowing people to see who you really are. And I think that, you know, if you take nothing else away from my time here speaking to you, take that, you know, this is supposed to be a conduit. You know, don't hide behind it. You know, it's fun. It's you know, I'm as much into equipment and vintage stuff, and I mean, I'll talk to you all day about it, but the most important thing is the human element of music. It's what you do with this, you know? And you don't have to be Miles Davis, you know, to connect with another human being through music, okay? And so allow yourself to be vulnerable, because you might just be surprised what comes out of you in the process. And also, as a listener, I think that that's when we truly connect with somebody, okay? So getting back to the slide aspect of things, sorry to get so deep, but that's how I am. That's who I am. So initially with the slide, everybody talks about which finger to use. Figure it out. Whichever one feels good to you. That's my advice to you. Because Joe Walsh and Ron Wood like it on the middle finger. Dwayne Allman liked it here. Johnny Winter and Ry Cooter and stuff like it on their pinky. Whichever one feels comfortable to you. Metal or glass or whatever. Again, whatever feels comfortable to you. Because you need to get the fundamentals of it down first before any of this stuff really makes a difference at all. And for me, the easiest thing initially was playing in the middle of the neck with the slide. Playing on the G string or the D string. And I'll get to the vibrato in a minute because that's a whole nother thing. But anyway, I could kind of get away with it for the longest time, like in very simplistic ways, stuff like that. But then the thing that would kill me every time is when I would go to the high E string. That high E string would I can't even do it now because but I would plink and it would sound atrocious and I would lose all my confidence and it killed me for the longest time. So for a while there, I just avoided the E string. I just said, fine, I'm going to try and fool everybody and I'm going to try and play in the middle of the neck. And then all of a sudden, one day I could do it.